Up next, we had a Bray Wyatt promo.
Pretty much, Bray asks, I don't understand. I always wonder why does everybody keep running? Why does everybody keep doing this and that? So I think pretty much, the same thing. Asking Chris again to save us, keeping with that theme. I guess that not necessarily that Chris is a false prophet, but I guess more like a false savior. Says he's going to do something and doesn't follow up on it. And, all these people flocking to him. It's just a false idol. He'll expose them as such come SummerSlam. So it's interesting because I felt like this narrative was being used against Bray only a little while ago with his program with Cena, and now Bray is the one sniffing out false prophets, false saviors, and Jericho's just going, well, Bray's just a big disgusting spider that I need to smush under my boot and finish before he can spread his venom anywhere else. So great promo by Bray as always, but just really looking forward to their match at SummerSlam. So.
Was it really, though, John? I feel like all of Bray Wyatt's promos are starting to sound the same.
Are starting to run together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that contention certainly has merit. Really, to me, this has been the most disappointing part of this angle is the promo work, and I would levy that charge against both guys. Both guys really haven't done any promos where I'm like, oh, God, just stop, you're so awful. It's never gotten that bad. But it's a lot like the Lana Coulter exchanges. They never really evolve. Oh, God, there I go again using evolution language. But, they never really grow. They never really progress to another level. I feel like this feud is missing, which I can even say that Bray Cena had, oddly enough. It's missing those stakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the real consequences here?
Yeah, like, what matter? Why should I care who wins this match?
Yeah, really, why should you care? Because the thing is, WWE is pretty much
I was
taking
hoping you'd be able to tell me.
Well, I can't, because here's the thing. WWE is pretty much taking advantage, I think, of Bray's power to recover from a loss, which I don't even know if that's even working anymore, because I think even you and me...
No, it's not. It's not working anymore. As much as we'd like to believe that it's working and that, he just restored all of his credibility back without one line, let's ask the fans that are chanting boring at him just how credible he is.
I think the mistake, and I'm sorry, I stand by this, I know why they did it, and I think it will have a payoff in the end, but I still believe... First of all, I would have loved to have seen him beat Cena in Last Man Standing, but let's just write that off and say that we all knew that was never going to happen. Let's just treat that as such. The night after, when he talks about how Abigail came to him and said, worry about people trying to do harm to you, all these false people, and he said he was reborn, he should have gone on a tear that, to me, should have culminated in him winning the championship at Money in the Bank. I felt like when he did not win the title, that's when I got concerned. I felt like when you come on and you say that you're going to be better than you've ever been, more terrifying than ever, follow through. That's the problem with the Bray Wyatt recovery plan. He cuts these brilliant promos, but there's never been any significant follow-through where it's like, see, he told you he was going to do it, and he did it. It makes...
Yeah, John, but that never happens. The only time that I can honestly say I remember somebody saying something somewhat outlandish and then it happening was the whole Paul Heyman, that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler line. And that happened once, and then he said it again, and it didn't happen.
And I agree with you. But I also feel like that is part of the problem. You have these guys coming on here.
Well, maybe the part of the problem in this case, though, is that you're taking Bray's promos too seriously.
Or maybe WWE isn't taking them seriously enough. I mean, come on now. He says that he's going to come back. This guy is an entity shrouded in mystery.
Do you really think the WWE takes anybody's promos super seriously?
Maybe they should in this case. I mean, look at who we're dealing with. I mean, this is a guy that you and I talk about week after week and still do. And I think that's why you and I are really having this out now in a more negative way, because we see what he's capable of. Is he still 26?
27.
He's 27 now. Only 27. Still incredibly young. Still this good. Had a WrestleMania match with John Cena. He lost. Due to overbooking, a month later, beat Cena in a cage. Had a program with Cena where he at least got one victory. Had a great Raw segment with this Child's Choir. I mean, this guy, when you give him something, can get it done. I don't feel like they're really giving him anything with Jericho now. Was supposedly reborn, was going to be better. Still seems like same old Bray Wyatt, if not worse, him and the family. Because the family, we want to talk about Harper and Rowan, lost 2 straight pay-per-views to the Usos. One of which...
freaking Usos, people!
Yeah, who, I mean, that's another discussion we've had so many times. You could go to any past episode of WoW and you'd probably hear it, more than likely.
I'm sorry, but if you line up the Usos and the Wyatt family and put a poll up on frickin' any website ever that gets a decent amount of traffic that isn't targeted specifically at wrestling fans, who's going to win this fight? 90% of the votes would be for the frickin' Wyatt family.
I mean, actually, it's not even necessarily, dude, and I want you to understand that I disagree with you. I think it's just that I'm so incredibly frustrated because I feel like these guys should be the menacing heel force right now, right next to the Authority, and I don't even think they are. I don't. I think it's honestly the Authority as first and second engine at this point, and if you could think of a better second engine substitute.
Well, yeah, I mean, first engine would be Triple H, second engine would be probably Seth Rollins at this point.
Right.
I mean, heck, you could even say first. I mean, at this point, if we're going exclusively based on heat, first engine is Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
Second engine, Triple H. Third engine, Rollins. Fourth engine, Randy Orton. Maybe fifth engine, Wyatt's.
You know, it's funny because commentary says, you know, when the audience holds their phones up with the Wyatt family entrance, Bray Wyatt calls them the Fireflies. Well, one of the Fireflies is going to die out. I mean, it's not even necessarily that people just love a winner, which I have said quite a few times. He doesn't even necessarily have to win, but he still has to be interesting.
No, that's the thing, though, dude. I think that this all comes back to my thing where I always say the people don't just want you to win. They want you to win when they want you to win. Everybody wanted Bray Wyatt to beat John Cena, at least in that third match. Now, at WrestleMania, they also wanted him to win, but that's a different story. He won the second match despite all of the ridiculous overbooking. In that third match, the crowd was behind Bray. And who won?
John Cena.
And to me, if the crowd can't rely on you to win when they want you to win, they're going to stop wanting you to win.
And I think that issue is compounded, again, just trying to bring it full circle, when you look at Bray Wyatt's gimmick, this guy who says he's going to lead people to the promised land if you just follow him, follow the buzzards. Well, these people are following the buzzards, and all you're finding at every turn, to, I guess, build on that language, are these dead carcasses, you know, nothing to be picked, because it's over. I mean, he lost to Cena in Last Man Standing, lost to Jericho clean, which, again, I don't mind in the grander scheme of things, because I expect him to get 2 straight wins, SummerSlam and Night of Champions. But where does he go from here? You know, and again, you may think that the two issues are completely unrelated, but this is another reason why I think it sucks that Daniel Bryan is out with an injury, because I would have expected these two to have a feud for the championship by now.
Yep, abso-freaking-lutely. I guarantee you that was probably the original plan for SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think he was the plan either at
SummerSlam...
Oh,
no, that's right. The original plan for SummerSlam was Wyatt Punk.
Wyatt Punk, which I can believe.
Which then, once Punk quit, probably would have become Wyatt Bryan.
Right. So,
but then Bryan got hurt, so Wyatt's just falling down the freaking ladder as we go.
So that's really a shame.
And it's not even his fault.
Exactly. Because if Daniel Bryan hadn't gotten injured, I expected Bray Wyatt to be the next program immediately after Kane. That was really my vision. Was that
I think most people would agree with you.
Yeah, I think they were going to have like a 2, maybe even 3-match program. I don't know, but I thought that was definitely in the cards. Punk, that's whatever. I've already said my piece on that. I won't even touch that. You know, that was his business. It's whatever. I would have loved to have seen a one-on-one match between those two. Didn't get it, so can't cry over it. Daniel Bryan, though, stings more because, A, I wanted Bryan to have his reign and go on his run. I was really excited about the matches that were going to come out of it. And now that those two guys are gone, again, emphasis on Bryan, Bray is left with doing Chris Jericho. And that's not a slight against Chris Jericho, but again, we return to the original.
But it should be. It should be a slight against Chris Jericho. And it's not even a problem with him. It's a problem with the way he's been booked. Because here's my thing. He shouldn't have needed to win their first match. Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho, Wyatt should win 99 times out of 100. But because Jericho's credibility had been shot so far down the hole in his previous runs, the WWE felt like they needed to give him a win over somebody credible to get him his credibility back.
Right. Right. So this is actually a problem that goes back even further when you look at Jericho just individually by himself. And fine, he's got his little bit of credibility back and they're going to have their 2 matches. But again, we return to the central problem. what are even the stakes?
There aren't any.
Because, see, here's the thing. You could even say, Ashton, that stakes existed, at least in my opinion, if Jericho at least seemed a bit perturbed, like Cena was when Bray called him out by calling Jericho, a false savior, pretty much. He doesn't seem annoyed by it. He's going about his business. I'm Chris Jericho. I'm winning matches. He's getting stuff done. Cena, at least to his credit, seemed bothered whenever Bray would invoke his legacy and say that you're going to fall and I'm going to build my empire where yours used to be. I'm going to build it by the sea so I can watch you drown. And that bothered him. You could see that it bothered him when he had the kids singing his theme song. Or no, he's got the whole world in his hands. Not his actual theme. Cena, you and I even joked, he looked like what he would look like if Nikki Bella came home and said, John, I'm pregnant. He sold it. I would feel more invested if these words got to Chris Jericho, if he was questioning himself, if he was looking at his past actions and said, no, Bray, you're right. I may not have saved them before, but I know I can save them now against you, or something like that. But it hasn't grown to that point, and it may later, or hell, do what you did apparently on NXT. Have a match at one point, maybe that'll even be Night of Champions. Well, actually, no, it couldn't be, because he's leaving after it. But, if you lose, you join the Wyatt family, or something like that. I just don't really feel like there's any weight to this feud right now.
Exactly.
All right, anything else you want to say, or should we move on?
Let's go ahead and move on. Beat the Clock Challenge, RVD, Seth Rollins, and didn't really work out that way, did it?
Yeah, unless RVD, he dyed his hair to look like a ginger, grew a little bit, and became a rock star.
Well, a wannabe rock star. But anyway, yeah. When the match is getting ready to start, Justin Roberts makes the announcement that per the Authority, RVD will no longer be Seth Rollins' opponent. It will now be... And then Heath Slater's music hits.
Heath Slater, yeah, Heath Slater, man, he's in a very interesting place in his career right now. I mean, eliminated Cesaro in the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal. Got a win on main event with Slater Gator, so that may become a legitimate thing on Raw and SmackDown soon. I don't know.
No,
I know they've kept them together.
No way.
I don't think it will either. Personally, I do honestly see Titus joining.
Who did they beat?
They beat the team of the Dungeon Bros, Tyson Kidd and Zack Ryder.
Wow.
So, yeah, really credible team there. So either Slater Gator is going to become a thing, or Titus is going to join the ranks with Xavier, or he'll do nothing at all, which is definitely my option. But yeah, Slater is in an interesting place. He's got the tag team going, eliminated Cesaro of all people, and then he gets this match against Seth Rollins. So, yeah, interesting times for the one-man band.
He didn't just get the match, though, because Dean Ambrose came out 2 minutes into the match and was just taunting the crap out of Rollins. He was talking about how, I'm not doing anything, and that almost got Rollins pinned because I think Slater hit like a jumping neck breaker, which almost looked like it could have been his finisher. And then Ambrose grabs the briefcase and he pours soda in it and he pours popcorn in it and he puts JBL's hat in it, and then he goes to close it and he gets up on the announcer table and holds it up with the frickin' soda that was in it, slurping all around the place. And it was kind of gross, but it did distract Rollins enough because Heath Slater pinned Seth Rollins pretty much clean.
I should have known it was coming when JBL. First of all, I did know it was coming when Heath Slater came out. I'm not saying that I was that, had that kind of tunnel vision going on, but I should have seen it coming even earlier in the night when JBL was touting, well, Michael, Seth Rollins has never been pinned or submitted since joining ranks with the Authority. Why shouldn't we believe that he can get the job done here tonight in his Beat the Clock challenge? And I should have known that because of that he was going to lose, and then he did. He did. I'm curious if Heath Slater's going to get some kind of a Raw fallout or anything like that to try and capitalize on this. How much do you want to bet, though? Because, for the record, everybody, Dean did not mention his stipulation here. That was announced. He's going to name his stipulation that he's chosen against Seth Rollins for SummerSlam this Friday on SmackDown. So that is something to look forward to. Nice to see SmackDown having some exclusivity for the SummerSlam card. That's refreshing. But yeah. Him losing, you got to wonder if Slater's going to try and capitalize on this, or if Rollins is going to get his win back either that same SmackDown or the next Raw, where he just dominates Slater. Because I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what do you think the stipulation is going to be, John?
I think it's going to be like a no rules, no holds barred kind of matchup. Kind of think of the matchup that Cactus Jack and Randy Orton had at Backlash 2004. It's going to be that type, like just hardcore, all out matchup, like a death match, pretty much, just scaled back a bit.
All right, I don't know.
What kind of match do you think they're going to have?
I feel like Ambrose is going to try to turn it into a match where, and the confusing thing is, before he started dumping the soda in, he ripped up the contract.
Right.
So what does that mean now?
Oh, well, Seth is still going to be able, I think, to cash in. I mean, I think.
But what's he going to cash in? An empty briefcase?
Well, I think the precedent was kind of set with the whole Cody Rhodes Damian Sandow feud. I mean, Cody Rhodes pretty much chucked Sandow's.
Okay, well, in that case, then yeah, I think that Ambrose is going to make the stipulation that the winner gets the briefcase, that gets the contract.
Oh, so you're really looking at this from like a stakes perspective. I was looking at it from more like a match type perspective. Interesting. You know what? It's either going to be a death match, like I'm saying, because I mean they even did an article about Dean Ambrose's history with those types of matches on WWE.com, and they know him to be that really violent individual, especially with his actions in recent weeks. So it's either going to be that, and look who he's facing. So it's either going to be that, or it's going to be for the briefcase, or maybe even both.
Yeah, it could be both.
Yeah, I mean it could be. Seth, we're going to have this type of match. Oh, and by the way, in case I didn't scare you out of your mind enough, when I beat you, I take that briefcase, and then bam, dude, we have our match of the year contender right there, because I think this is going to be, I mean, no offense to the main event, but really, forget Cena Lesnar, this is the match that I think really has me hooked into SummerSlam, if I'm being honest. Cannot wait for this.
Absolutely. This is going to be amazing. Match of the night. And you know what? If this isn't match of the night, I would not sleep on Miz versus Ziggler.
I wouldn't either. If what they did on that Raw was any indication, if they're given the time, I completely agree. I think you said it perfectly. Don't sleep on it, guys. They could deliver.